Facebook holds an absolute global monopoly. With a 76% market share over social media with Facebook and Instagram, and a 79% market share over messengers through WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger. It's also ruled by an absolutist dictator of a CEO who controls 58% of voting rights in a company worth over $1 trillion. By controlling what people think, feel, and read, Facebook acts as a quasi-totalitarian government. It's much more powerful than the Ministry of Truth in 1984 or China's propaganda machine. Facebook is not actually incentivized to create the propaganda, they just shape the narrative by deciding who sees what. They take no official side in politics, they just tip the balance every once in a while towards whichever side that is more profitable. Facebook's very existence, the way its algorithms currently function, is a threat to democracy. And its monopoly power, style of management, and anti-competitive behavior a threat to capitalism and technological innovation. Perhaps never before has so much power been put in the hands of one company. But if history has taught us anything, it's that no larger-than-life power can hold its grip forever, and no absolutist institution can prosper and grow for long. So here is my case for why Facebook will be dead by 2030. Why it's already in decline, and what will happen to the industry once it dies. Facebook was once on a grand mission of connecting every human being on Earth, of bringing the world closer together. A mission that we can agree was generally successful, but at a great cost. By collecting more data than the world has ever seen before, they've set up a surveillance state that not only shapes the narrative, but allows anyone who makes Facebook money also shape it. The company has a sloppy and careless attitude towards privacy, even more so when it comes to avoiding social radicalization. In the past decade, the company has had scandal after scandal, from fake news to the spread of propaganda as a means of geopolitical espionage to using user data to meddle with politics like the Cambridge Analytica scandal. But numbers show no sign of decline yet. Facebook will make over $100 billion this year, and its valuation has reached over $1 trillion. User numbers had started to stagnate, even decline before the pandemic, but now they're through the roof. But not for long. Zuck is probably the closest character big tech has to Daniel Plainview. He despises competitors and has for years bought them over at bargain prices, or crushed them totally by shamelessly copying all of their unique features. But luck has been running out. Regulators are throwing rocks at acquisitions, even threatening to break up WhatsApp and Instagram. The likes of TikTok stole the thunder from the company faster than it could react. The app will soon take over Instagram in the number of hours spent in-app per user. Of course, the Zuck hasn't given up on his ambitions. Not that long ago, the company wanted to create a global currency, a stable coin called Libra that would be more powerful than any government currency and centralized into Facebook's hands. The deal has been put on pause for now because all of Facebook's partners just started leaving. After the rise of TikTok, the Zuck, worried that his apps might go out of fashion, said that he wants Facebook to be the leading creator of the Metaverse, the next big revolution of the internet that will be so integrated that already addicted users will find it even harder to unplug, essentially living inside a world filled with advertising, making Facebook more money. Now, I'm not against the creation of the Metaverse. In fact, I want to be a part of it. But Facebook wants absolute control over our minds and bodies, the greatest holder of attention and the master of our time. But will his dream materialize? Will Facebook remain the massive empire it is today with Zuckerberg at the helm? Facebook has been under attack by the governments of the world for some time. From trustbusters at home knocking on its door threatening to break up WhatsApp and Instagram, to threatening regulation being passed in Europe and elsewhere. Facebook is also fighting a second front line. A large portion of big tech, with Apple as banner leader, are attacking Facebook left and right. The latest version of iOS allows users to almost entirely bar apps from tracking them. This chokes Facebook of data. Facebook's public response has been to call it an attack on smaller businesses. Its only strategic defense would be to attack Apple by building its own hardware. It recently launched its own smart glass with Ray-Ban. Although it's a pretty crappy product right now, future iterations of the glass and Oculus could actually become so convenient that at some point when the metaverse advances, they could replace the smartphone. But again, not the biggest competitive edge right now. The other threat comes from Zuck's arch-enemy, Jack Dorsey. When Twitter was a young social network, It became a perfect hotbed for mass social movement like the Arab Spring. But just like Facebook, as it's become older, it's become a double-edged sword, causing social polarization. Unlike Facebook though, in response to the political chaos caused in part by its platform, it banned political ads. Although maybe all that good work was, erased when they decided to ban Trump and start censoring content, but still. Twitter is also crawling away from advertising by launching a subscription business and allowing users to sell tickets to their events on Twitter Spaces. On the other hand, Facebook is doing almost nothing to move away from advertising, and its business depends entirely upon it, leaving it vulnerable to boycotts or changes in the market. And if trustbusters, competition, or ad boycotts don't kill Facebook, Facebook will kill itself. Once upon a time, Facebook was a place to connect with friends and family. Now, it's a toxic, random, and endless feed filled with politics, arguments, and misinformation. Instagram used to be a place to communicate via photos. Now, it's a mosh pit of re-uploaded TikToks, random explore tabs, and posts that try to sell you fakeness. Neither platform allows content creators to build a reliable and sustainable audience anymore. And without content creators, Facebook is nothing. WhatsApp has done nothing but stagnate for years. No new features, not even minor UI improvements. It's only a matter of time until Telegram and Signal take over. If that wasn't enough, Facebook wants to merge all of its apps into one, not understanding that this would kill their uniqueness. An app that tries to be everything and nothing at once wouldn't be interesting for that long in the face of shiny alternatives. This, my friends, is why Facebook's days are numbered. Tick, 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 tick. Of course, Facebook's network effects, the deep relationships formed on its platforms, and not to mention deep pockets, will buy it plenty of time and room for errors. It also wouldn't be the best thing for the world if Facebook died. Millions of businesses around the world rely on Facebook ads and Facebook content marketing to get their customers and grow their businesses. But we can all agree that Facebook is not what it once was. It's probably one of the most hated companies in the world, and it will take a lot of time and money to reform and save it. But the death of Facebook will not fix social media. Once it dies, some other company will use the same tactics of network effects mixed with addictive technology to just replace it. Regulations will also not really fix anything than just hinder innovation. So how can we really, fundamentally fix social media? Well, the answer to that will be in a much more in-depth, broader video next week. So make sure to subscribe to catch that one and support this project on Patreon to finance high-quality videos like this. See you next time.